Welcome to our Member Spotlight interview series, where we showcase the amazing members of our community and their unique talents and skills. During our interview, you'll get a behind-the-scenes look at their journey, the challenges they've faced, and how they've overcome them. We'll also learn about their superpowers and what sets them apart in their industry. Our Member Spotlight interviews are a great opportunity for you to get inspired, connect with fellow entrepreneurs, and learn from their experiences. Let's jump in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Member Spotlights. Georgia, I'm excited to have you here on the show.
So excited to be here.
Well, cool. To start, introduce yourself to me and the people watching. Tell me a little bit about yourself and then your business and what you're doing.
Okay. So first of all, my name is Georgia Ryle. I am from a little town in the state of Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta, home of the blues, you know. Been married for 41 years next week and got three
Happy
children.
Anniversary.
Thank you. 3 children, 5 grandchildren. I just had a new one. So I'm on this journey as a coach, spiritual empowerment coach, and an energy healer. And it all kind of started back when I was 40. My journey started way before then, but it kind of started in my 40s. I found out I had hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism. And then 10 years later, I found out I had Hashimoto's. And, you know, if you don't know anybody that's ever had that, what happens is it's like your body is attacking itself. So your thyroid has receptor sites on it, and your body is attacking those receptor sites so they can't receive any of the vital stuff they need to do what they need to do. So then what happens is you start getting high blood pressure and high sugar, and because your thyroid does a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
And so it basically kind of regulates all that stuff. And so when I got that, I had gained a lot of weight, had no energy, had aches and pains that nobody should have.
Right.
And so then I went to see a functional nurse practitioner. And what even got me to do that was I kept thinking, my doctors kept telling me, oh, just take another pill. You're getting older. It's just all part of getting older. And I'm like, somehow this doesn't ring true. I know in my body, that's just not true.
Yeah.
And so I finally followed my intuition and got in touch with a functional nurse practitioner, and she helped me learn how to heal my body. And I did. In 4 months, I got rid of the Hashimoto's. And it was really funny because I go back to my regular doctor and he goes, oh, there is no way you got rid of Hashimoto's. Once you got it, you got it. I'm like, here are my numbers before, here are my numbers after. And he went, you got to talk about this. And then in the meantime, I am learning that I'm a natural hands-on healer, I guess you would call it, energy healer. I would get the really warm hands whenever I'd lay my hands on people, or really funny, whenever I'd pray for them. I noticed my hands would get really warm. And so I didn't do anything with that for a really long time. And then I realized that it was getting really important I started listening to my intuition more and more, and realized that it was actually talking to me when I listened to it. And I said, you know, if I'm not listening to it, there's probably a ton of men and women that aren't listening to their intuition. And it's always looking out for us and trying to help us be better. And so then I started a journey of learning more about how to listen to my intuition. And through that, I learned to read the Akashic Records, which is very interesting. It's like intuition on steroids, because you're not only listening to your own intuition, you're listening to other things. Like I listen to the archangels. There's also leaders. They're called leaders and masters and teachers. And our loved ones are inside the Akashic Records. And so it's like you're getting intuition from yourself, but you're also getting guidance from them. And, you know, I was skeptical at first. And then the more I realized I was getting answers that there's no way, even with my intuition, there's no way I would have gotten those answers. And so I realized that was a very powerful tool to use, especially in healing, answering questions, whatever. And so what I decided to do then is start moving toward, I was a health coach also, by
Got
the
it.
way. I've been trained as a health coach, been trained as a life coach, a spiritual empowerment coach. And so what I decided to do was combine all of those things and come up with a really rounded, well-rounded program for women, especially to take.
Okay.
And so I really like working with, let's see, how would you say that? Women who were 35 or older who really have started, even if it's tentatively just thinking about a spiritual journey. And by that, I mean, you're starting to notice that you're noticing things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
These feelings are coming to you. These thoughts are coming to you. You're getting little visions. You're noticing little signs, different things like that. And it may not be anything big. You've been thinking about your mom. Your mom died 2 years ago. You were thinking about her. And all of a sudden, you saw her favorite flower or you smelled her perfume, those kind of things. Those are little signs that you get. And it could be your mom saying, hey, I'm here, waving at you, talking
Right.
to you, communicating with you. And so I like working with those who are starting their journey into the spiritual world, even if it's just a little one toe stuck in the water. But I also want to work with them to learn how to listen to their bodies for their health, for their well-being, for life in general. I mean, you can get some really great answers if you learn to listen. And
Right.
so, there's a lot of us that have been on a journey of, I know I could do better, be better, whatever. I could be more. I could do more. I feel like I'm holding myself back. And so my program, my goal is that I teach you how to learn to let go of those things that are no longer serving you
Right.
and really start tuning into your intuition and your own internal guidance or your spirit guides or your angels or whatever you want to listen to. And really step into who you know you are.
Right.
And it's not something that you've got to go out here to find or you've got to take another class. It's already here. You've been hiding behind something. Let's get rid of that.
Right. Yeah. I love it. So for people watching, I want to dive into more about your programs and dive into that. But first off, like people watching, what tips can you give people to start listening to their bodies? Because I thought it was so powerful that you, especially with your Hashimoto's, like, no, I'm not going to take another pill. I know that my body can take care of itself. So what tips would you give people to get started on that?
Well, and let me just first preface this by saying I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. This is just me and my experience. And so for me, what it was is I kept going to the doctor and he kept saying, you're getting older, you're getting older, you're gaining weight. It's all part of getting older. And I'm thinking, I'm only 40 years old. I'm only 45 years old. I'm only 50. That's not 105 years old.
Right.
Even if I were 80, I'd still be going, this is not part of getting older. There's more to this. And I mean, I've read enough, I've watched enough, that I've researched enough to know that that is not part of getting older. That is part of something is wrong. And so when he kept giving me the same thing and he was giving me, we weren't trying to get to the root cause. We were getting to the symptom and let's take care of that symptom. Oh, by the way, that created another symptom. Let's take care of that symptom. Oh, by the way, that created another symptom. And I'm like, no. I'm not going to be a 50-year-old taking 10 pills this one's trying to take care of this and trying to take care of this and trying to take care. I'm not going to do it because I've seen my grandparents take shoe boxes of pills and they were no better. They were just constantly getting worse. And so I said, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so that's when I finally decided I wanted to find a functional nurse practitioner versus a traditional nurse practitioner.
Okay.
And the difference is a traditional medical person, any of them, they go to medical school, the books say, let's do this. And that's typically what they do. They stay within their box.
Yeah.
Where a functional nurse, and it's not just their learning. Okay. I'm not going to, and they're wonderful people. I am definitely not putting down the medical field at all. They went through a lot of education. They learned a lot, but they're bound by insurance companies, Medicaid, Medicare, if they're in a hospital, probably by their hospital rules, they can only do this much.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really allowed to do this much because the insurance won't pay for it.
Right.
So I knew when I went to a functional nurse practitioner, it was going to be something I was going to have to pay for because typically they don't accept insurance. That way they can do more
Right.
than a traditional doctor can do. Their hands are kind of tied behind their backs,
Mm-hmm.
or at least one hand is. And so when I went to the functional nurse practitioner, she was allowed to do more. So if you've got a thyroid issue, let me just say your traditional doctor is going to do a TSH. And unless that TSH number is outside of a certain range for him, he will never look at anything else.
Wow.
Unless you force his hand. And I kind of made my doctor do it. I paid for it out of my pocket, but I got him to do it. But anyway, the functional nurse practitioner is going to look at things from a different point of view. Let me just say that they're looking at it from a different point of view. They're looking at it as, I'm trying to find out the root cause of your issue so that we can fix the root cause, and then that'll take care of all the symptoms.
Yeah.
So when we did that, that's when I found out I had gone into Hashimoto's. And Hashimoto's basically, like I said, it's the body attacking itself. Your thyroid has receptor sites that take in the T4, T3, whichever one it is. And the body is saying, oh no, there's something wrong here. We're going to attack those. You can't take anything in and you can't put anything out.
Mm-hmm.
So it really throws the whole body off. And I mean the whole body off. So I had gained 50 pounds. I looked like I was 6 months pregnant. I was extremely tired. I was so tired that I would get up in the morning, take a shower, go make sure that I ate something, and maybe if I had enough energy to do some exercises before I sat down, because once I sat down, I was done for the day.
Wow.
Literally, I was done for the day. And I felt like I was twice my age, decrepit. My calves hurt, my back hurt, my whole body hurt. And so I knew there was no way for me to live that way. And so I went to this functional nurse practitioner. She changed my diet. I knew what eating healthy was, but I wasn't doing it. But I didn't think I was eating that bad. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But by that time, my body was not liking anything I ate, basically. It saw everything as something bad.
Right.
So I had to change my diet, basically eat whole foods, stop the gluten because the gluten was attacking my gut.
Right.
And start finding a way to move my body. And it was really, when you start taking care of your body, when you actually start eating real whole foods, making sure you get plenty of water and doing some kind of movement. Now, you notice I didn't say exercise. I said movement.
Yeah.
It's just moving your body. Your body is energy. And so energy gets stuck in your body. And that doesn't sound like a terrible thing, except for think of when your nose is stopped up and that's not moving. You can't breathe.
Yeah.
Well, when energy gets stuck in your body, it can't allow everything to function properly. So when you move your body, you're getting that energy. Okay, think of yourself if you're in a really bad mood and you're listening to old country music where the girlfriend left the boyfriend or whatever, and they're drinking beer. Okay, you know how that just kind of gets stuck in there and you just go, okay, well, that's kind of what happens with your energy if you don't get it moving out of your body. And so by movement, what feels good to you? Is it walking? Is it stretching? Is it playing in the dirt in your garden? Is it just shaking, shaking your
moving
body?
Around.
I mean, right. And it doesn't have to be that extreme exercise. It's just something. It's dancing in your living room by yourself. It's playing ballerina. It's bending over to touch your toes if you want to, whatever, taking a stroll, not a walk, a stroll around your neighborhood. Whatever feels good for you, just do it. Get it moving. So between changing the way I ate, getting my body moving, and then drinking more water, that really, really made a big difference in my health. And like I said, in 4 months, my numbers were back to normal. The antibodies were all gone. Believe it or not, the antibodies were gone.
Wow.
Now, does that mean I don't need to watch what I eat? No, it does mean I still need to watch what I eat. And they still check my numbers once a year to make sure that I'm not going backwards. uh, I got rid of it, but that doesn't mean it can't return,
Right.
especially if I neglect myself. And so that's part of the program that I do, is working on that part. Because believe it or not, if you want to use your intuition, um, eating healthier, drinking lots of water, moving your body are key to
Yeah.
that. Now, you asked me about intuition. How do people receive intuition? How do they receive their messages? Okay. So, have you ever gotten ready to walk out of the house and you saw the umbrella and you go, oh, I need to take that. But it's a sunshiny day. Why the heck would I take an umbrella? I'll leave it there. You get halfway through your day and it pours. Or you're driving home and it says, take a left, don't go straight here. And you're like, it's the only way I go home. Why would I turn left?
Right.
And then you end up in a traffic jam, or you end up in a wreck or behind a wreck. It's that you're asking yourself a question. I've been asking myself a question for a week, and I don't know the answer. And all of a sudden, you hear a song. You see the title on your radio, or you hear the words, and there's your answer.
Yep.
You overhear a conversation. There's your answer. You see a billboard. There's your answer. You see a picture in your head, or you walk into a room and you go, "Ooh, what's going on in this room? It doesn't feel good." You're walking into a meeting or something, and it's just like, well, that's your intuition trying to tell you this is a good meeting, or this is everybody's in a foul mood meeting. What can I do to not get in that foul mood? Not become a part of that. So it's listen to signs like that. Do you? It may be a tightness in your chest. It may be your gut tightness, or it may be butterflies in your, like if you're excited about something or you're a little bit nervous, you may feel those butterflies. Well, sometimes that's your intuition trying to tell you something.
Right.
And it's not always something bad. It could be something very good. It could be just reminding you to do something to make things better for yourself that day. So your intuition gets really interesting, because once you figure out how you're getting your signals, so claircognizant, you could actually, like I said, see things, or a feather. You might could see a feather, or it could be a little vision you get in your head, just a little something you see, like a little movie screen back behind your eyes. Claire, let's see, where do I want to go with this? Clairsentient is physically feeling something, or something on your arms, or it could be energy flowing down your arms, or it could be the little tightening in your chest or your gut, or the butterflies. You learn to start paying attention to those kind of things. Let's see, clairaudient, again, you could hear the song, or it could be there's a voice in your head. You ask yourself a question, all of a sudden you hear no, or yes, or don't do that, do this.
Right.
And at first it might be your voice, and then sometimes it's not, but typically it could be your voice, because you're familiar with your voice and they know you, it knows you are. So pay attention. It's the funny part about it is we all are intuitive, but we don't always realize we're using it.
Yeah.
Because I realized after I started learning the different ways it could come to us, I started realizing, oh, I thought everybody did that. I thought everybody received messages. I thought that was just part of what everybody does,
Right.
Because I will get answers like, sometimes I'll walk into a room and my chest tightens up. I'm like, oh, I met a person one time and my chest did that. My stomach actually twisted. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to find out more about this person before I interact with this person.
Right.
Or you might meet somebody, you go, oh, I feel like I've known this person forever. There's also, let's see, claircognizant, you just know. You don't know why, you just know. Maybe you just met somebody and all of a sudden you got this thought, hey, I bet they like pizza too. I bet they like roses too, or something like that. I bet they're really good at something. And you have no idea where that even came from. You just started talking to them. How would you know that,
Right.
Another way to know that you are without all that is, how many times do you meet somebody and they want to tell you their life story before you've even gotten 2 words out?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's not super often, I feel like.
Well, every time I go somewhere, that's also empathic, and every time I would go to a seminar or a conference or something, I love meeting people because half the time I don't have a car. I'm going to need a ride to lunch
Right.
or somebody to sit with and talk with or go eat lunch with, so I'm not by myself. And so before I know, or sitting in a plane, before I know it, people are telling me their life story, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes it's really fun, and sometimes it's like, oh, I really didn't need to know that.
Exactly. Right.
So yeah, our intuition can tell us a whole lot. Like, you've probably gone to maybe you've gone to a restaurant and you really know you should eat this, but you really want this, and you go to order that, and you go, my stomach's going to hurt if I eat that.
Yeah.
I probably don't. That's your intuition telling you that.
Right. Right.
Or, ooh, I've already had one glass of beer. I probably don't need another one. So.
Yeah, it's so simple, like simple things like daily life decisions that are all involved in that process. That's really cool. I like how you broke it down like that. So with people who are wanting to learn more about this and work with you and be a part of what you're doing, tell us more about your programs and what you're developing and how they can get in contact with you.
Okay. Well, I have a free Facebook group. It's called Healing, Alignment, and Shift.
Awesome.
And I gave you that, so we can share that later. And then, and in that program, we do some healing circles, and we do some workshops and things like that. And I am working on, I also do Akashic Record readings. And I am starting a program soon that is a 6-month program where we work on, of course, if you're going to do anything, you need to work on your mindset, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's losing weight, starting a new business, starting a new hobby.
Right.
The problem with not changing your mind shift is you get started off really good and you're like, yay, let's go. And you're motivated. Yeah. Well, then motivation leaves eventually, right?
Yes.
But if your mindset is, I'm going to do this goal, I've got this plan, this is what I'm doing, I'm going this way no matter what, then you're going to meet that goal. It's not a let's get to the goal and let's stop. It's let's get to that goal and keep moving forward. So we need to shift that mindset, whether it's, like I said, weight loss, exercising, starting a new hobby, starting a new business. We've got to get our mindset right for that particular thing.
Right.
And in your life, so much better when you're not worried about limiting beliefs like, oh, I can't do that. I bet you're excellent at that if you can get that belief out of the way. Yeah, I bet you're excellent at that if you can get that belief out of the way. So let's move some of that out of the way. The next part is honoring your body, which is learning to eat healthier. And let's not even call it healthier. Let's just eat real food.
Yeah.
Our body knows what to do. Believe it or not, our body knows what to do with real food. It doesn't know what to do with that artificial stuff. It's like, but I know how to digest the vegetables and the meats because I've been doing that for thousands of years. But that over there, I really don't know what to do with that, that trans fat or whatever, I really don't know what to do with that. So let me I call it file 13. We're going to put it in one of these pockets over here and we'll do something with it later. We'll figure it out. And also drinking water is very important. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're really going to start diving into our intuition and really learning how to listen to that.
Awesome.
And so now, is that going to be one right after the other? No, we're probably going to intermingle all of that together and make it fun and see where it goes from there. But that's the next program I'm working on. So if that's something that sounds great to you, let me know. I would love to talk with you about it, and let's get started.
Very cool. Yeah, that sounds incredible. And I'm excited for everyone to get access to this. So I really appreciate you coming on, Georgia, and sharing your incredible story and the advice. I think this has been really valuable.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Of course. Well, let's cue the outro and then we'll finish up.
Okay.
And if you're interested in being featured in our Member Spotlight series, we'd love to hear from you. It's a great way to get some exposure and share your story with the other group members. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.